A new day, a new what if. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that whole quote I was gonna make. Hello, guys, it's Great Zage, and this is the new what if I was been talking about. This is what if Naruto had a leveling system. It's not gonna have the same abilities like solo leveling, but he will have a leveling system. You know, it will track his strengths, his abilities. He's gonna become very powerful. I promise you that. He'll be pretty OP. Not too OP to the point where he can just solo everything instantly, but he will be OP. He'll be really strong. There will be character development and everything. And I really hope you guys do enjoy this what if. This is my Naruto what if for Great Sage. I have another Naruto what if planned for the Sage Samurai channel, but you guys will find out eventually. But anyway, I hope you guys do enjoy this what if. And yeah, let's get started. Yeah.
She gripping that dick like she was a lost star. She party at night like she was a rock star. She singing my song like Bella-dee-da. She calling me daddy, but not a father. Little Billy bit thirsty like big as some water. Could give you the world with the wave of a wand. We feel it, our bitch Cosmo and Wanda.
Alright, guys, so let's begin this what if. Alright, we begin with Naruto. He had just woken up from bed, as he is right now just in complete confusion. What? Am I dead? How am I alive? What's going on? He would say as he looks around frantically until suddenly a pop-up menu would go ahead and appear right in front of him. And the words that says, "Congratulations, you are now a player." As the only thing the blonde can only think at this very moment is, what? Flashback. So, we see Naruto now in the forest, as he had just finished learning the Shadow Clone Jutsu from the scroll of sealing. As you can obviously tell, Naruto had once again failed the graduation exams, and he is now just there waiting for Mizuki to go ahead and come here to pass him. As Naruto was waiting there in complete excitement, waiting for Mizuki to arrive, he would see, well, just like that, Mizuki would appear. "Ah, Mizuki-sensei," he would say. However, the thing was, it wasn't truly Mizuki-sensei, it was Iruka. As he was right now looking down at Naruto with anger. "Naruto, what just gave you the idea to steal the scroll ceiling?" he would say. At this, Naruto goes ahead and looks at, Iruka, as he then shrugs. Well, Mizuki-sensei told me. At this, Iruka goes ahead and looks at Naruto. Why would Mizuki, at this, Iruka would then realize what happened, and he just couldn't believe it. "Mizuki," he would say in complete shock, as once he said the man's name, he actually appeared. "Ah, well, glad to see that everyone's here now." "Glad to see you, Iruka." As he goes ahead and, nods to Iruka with the evil smirk, as he then turns to Naruto. "Naruto, give me the scroll ceiling now." At this, Naruto was confused about what was going on, as Iruka goes ahead and tells Naruto not to give it to him. "Mizuki, how could you betray us?" At this, Mizuki goes ahead and laughs, saying, "How could I betray you if I was never on your side in the first place?" At this, Mizuki begins to reveal his true intent, that being to steal Scroll Ceiling and blame it all on Naruto, as Naruto couldn't believe his eyes while listening to all of this. He was gonna blame me?" he says, as Mizuki then goes ahead and turns to Naruto. "You know what? But there's even more than that, because once after he goes ahead and takes the blame for me, I was planning to go ahead and torture the little brat." At this, Naruto goes ahead and actually looks, as he was so confused. Why would he want to do this to him? As Mizuki then finally lets it go, saying that he was going to finally tell Naruto the reason why everyone in this village hates him. Iruka, now panicking, would go ahead and shout at Mizuki, telling him to stop, but he failed. As Mizuki tells Naruto that he was the demon fox, the Kyuubi, or the nine-tailed fox that went ahead and attacked the village all those years ago. As Naruto felt like his entire world had just shattered. So that's why, he would think. As Naruto's eyes become dull, lifeless, as he just couldn't believe it. He was the very demon that went ahead and destroyed this village. And he just didn't understand. Why? Why him? However, just like that, if ginormous Fuma Shuriken was getting thrown at Naruto, not that he would react to it, as he was too paralyzed and just shocked and everything, as he was actually now thinking in his mind, maybe I should give up. However, just like that, suddenly right in front of him would then appear Iruka, as he goes ahead and blocks the Fuma Shuriken. But this time, the event will go ahead and change, As instead of blocking it with his back, he blocks it with his front, actually using his gut to go ahead and block the the shuriken with all his might. However, this gives him a fatal injury. At this, Naruto, now in shock, seeing his sensei protect him, would then ask, why? As Iruka, who's now already feeling the effects of this fatal injury, would then turn to Naruto. Cause you're like me. Listen, Naruto, I'm not having much time, as you can clearly see, he would say. Again, trying to joke in, even though he's on his final moments. At this, Naruto's eyes begin to water as he looks at the ginormous shuriken now in Iruka's gut. As he then thinks, he's sacrificed. No, he's gonna die. At this, he tried to move, but he was too paralyzed in shock. As Iruka, with a sad smile, gives him his speech, saying that Naruto was never Naruto is not the demon, that he's not the Nine Tails, and that he is gonna become a great ninja, and that he's sorry that he was not truly there for him all the time, and that that if he had the biggest regret is that he did not truly take care of Naruto like he wanted to. At this, Iruka gives Naruto one more reassuring smile as he then tells Naruto that he will become Hokage. At this, he goes ahead and dies as Iruka had now finally passed away. At seeing Iruka's lifeless body on the ground, Naruto was he was just lost in thought. Iruka, he's dead. And it's my fault, he would think, as his eyes begin to water, as he actually begins to cry for his sensei's death. At this, Mizuki was watching the whole entire thing and just chuckled. Wow, who would have thought demons actually had tears? Well, doesn't matter. You will join them soon, he would say, as he goes ahead and throws another ginormous shuriken at Naruto. At this, Naruto, he was right now, even though he had the chance to dodge it, he was too deep in thought. Maybe I should die. I mean, look at the death that I just caused. If I didn't steal the scroll ceiling, if I didn't do all this, Iruka would still be alive. That's why. At this, the shuriken was coming closer. Maybe it's better. At this, Naruto would be slammed in the gut, just like Iruka with the shuriken, as he didn't land on his back, slamming against a tree. Naruto would say, as he goes ahead and spits out blood. I guess this is the end. I'm sorry, Iruka, Naruto would say, as he realized that he really was a failure. Each time, he never studied, he never did anything. Iruka believed in him, and now here he was, about to die, and it was all his fault. I wish I could have done better. I wish I could have been a better student to you. Please forgive me, he would say. At this, he goes ahead and closes his eyes, expecting death, as Mizuki, now laughing, would rush at Naruto with the kunai hand, ready to end the so-called demon's life. However, just like that, in some weird fallen way of grace, suddenly a menu would then appear in front of Naruto. He had successfully fulfilled the requirements for whatever this thing was, as he would then be asked a certain question. Would you like to be a player? The thing would ask. At this, Naruto will look at it in confusion, as he then says, what's the point? I shouldn't even. At this thing, whatever it was telling him that if he does not answer in a couple of seconds, that he will die. Good, he thinks. That way I can go ahead and stop making people suffer. However, this is when suddenly, as soon as time was beginning to run out, this is when suddenly Naruto would then remember Iruka's words. Is those words were being that he believes in him, and that he believes that he was going to become Hokage. At this, Naruto's eyes would then snap open, as he, using the final moments, he then thinks, well, even though I'm about to die right now, it doesn't hurt to at least try. At this, he lifts up his finger weakly, of course, as by pushing the button that says accept, he goes ahead and then gets blinded by a blinding light. Flashback end. After that blinding light, Naruto had woken up, and here he was now. Wait, so when I accepted that, what's happening? What's going on? At this, once again, the menu goes ahead and appears, as we can to explain that Naruto was now a player, and that he had now joined the system. At this, Naruto was so confused right now, as suddenly the system would ask if he would like a guide to everything. And it will be an instant guide, as Naruto, when he actually reads the thing, apparently it will cause some side effects, that being a pretty miniature, well, depending on it, it will be a headache. He will get a headache because of it. However, he will learn it all instantaneously. At this, Naruto at first thought it was a genjutsu, but he didn't really know how to spell it because he didn't pay attention in class. So Naruto sighs. Well, it doesn't hurt to, I guess, even if this is genjutsu or not, it's better than being dead, I guess he would say, as he goes ahead and clicks on the button. Just like that, Naruto would then feel a ginormous headache as he falls into the ground, spitting out, coughing up a little bit. That hurt, he says, as he actually feels it. As he rolls around in the ground for a little bit, he goes ahead and gets up, as he realizes what this is exactly. Let's see. I think I get it now, he would say, as he had just learned all the information instantaneously, and it seemed like it was just burned into his mind. Alright, so this is like, what, some sort of gaming system or something? At this, Naruto would then recall one of the things. He then says, alright, status, he would say. At this, suddenly, just like that, Naruto's stats would then appear right in front of him. His intelligence, his strength, his endurance, his stamina, all of it. Alright, let's see. Naruto Uzumaki, level... Cool, I'm level 5. Oh, I got titles too. Let's see. And this begins to look at the various titles that he have, which aren't really a lot. In fact, he only has, well, 2 titles. At this, one being the Prankster King from Hell, as this actually lowers his likability by 5%. So, yeah, there's that downside. However, it does increase his stealth and his trap making by 10%. Okay, that's a bit disappointing, but then again, that's pretty cool, he would think. At this, you would then turn to the other, and that one being an academy student, which also seems to really have nothing. It was just a title, that's it. It didn't give him anything. Oh, well, that's bad. At this, you would then see his strength, as his strength was actually a good 20. His strength was actually a 35, which is actually pretty high for an academy student. Let's see. There's something else. His stamina was off the charts. That being a literal 50, which is extremely high for an academy student. It means he can go a very long time. Intelligence. Oh, come on, I'm not that bad, Naruto would think, as his intelligence and his wiseness were really low. Everything else, you would check the rest of his stats, and each one of them just seemed like average or, below average. Jeez. At this, Naruto decides to actually check out what type of skills that he has. So far, he has kunai throwing, which is a pretty bad level. He has, well, his instincts are, once again, low leveled. Pretty much everything is low leveled here. However, he didn't actually is a surprise to see that he still has the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Now, at seeing the familiar hand signs and seeing the familiar jutsu, Naruto would instantly shout, "Shadow Clone Jutsu, forming a clone." Yes, I still have it. At this, Naruto actually begins to read the description of Shadow Clone, and this is when he's shocked. Shadow Clone, this thing allows me to get any memory that the clones just... Wait, does that mean I can get any memory that the clones get when they disperse? At this, Naruto couldn't really believe it. This just seemed too good to be true. I learned such an amazing jutsu. I'm awesome, he would think, as he jumps around, until suddenly he would then hear a notification as he goes ahead and looks at the system once more. Quest? At this, he remembers the quest concerning the fact that, the guide instantly into his mind. Apparently, his quest is that he needs to arrive at the academy on time. If he does, the reward is getting 500 XP, 1,642 Ryu, which is currency. he also gets his also reputation with Iruka gets up by 500. And he has to make it there in 10 minutes. Failure, he will go ahead and lower the reputation with Iruka and lower reputation in Konoha, plus a few others. Yikes. Definitely not better get late, he would think. At this, Naruto instantly accepts the quest as he decides to actually run back to the academy. However, before he does so, while running back, he actually checks his calendar, and that's when he realizes, I'm a month. At this, Naruto couldn't believe it. He went back a month. It's 1 month before the whole Mizuki event happened. So I have 1 month to fix everything. 1 month too. At this, he would then remember Mizuki as his eyes darken to stop him. At this, Naruto knows that he's gonna have to become even stronger if he wants to save Iruka, prevent Mizuki, and become truly the person that he needed to be. At this, Naruto clenches his fist and runs off to the academy at full speed while checking other things on his, system. So we do a time skip to when Naruto had arrived at the academy, actually arriving there 7 minutes, 3 minutes earlier than what's intended. As he actually went inside the classroom, everyone was actually surprised to see, the dead last arriving early. At this, Naruto, having finally completed the quest, would have gotten all the rewards. As Naruto actually, on his way to the academy, had actually checked his reputation, and he had realized that his reputation in the village was very low. His reputation in the shopping district was very low. In the academy was, very low as well, being disliked. The village and the shopping area was hated, because those two were, hated. His reputation in the classroom was, pretty much disliked. As when he actually checks individual people, he would actually be surprised. He had checked out, first of all, when he actually enters the classroom, he actually whispers his reputation to see what other people think about him. Sakura Haruno, the girl that he likes, even though she for some reason did not like him. At this, he begins to read what she thinks about him and pretty much his reputation with her, and not even to his surprise, she disliked him, and her thoughts about him were pretty much annoying, loud, and stupid. Great, he would think. At this, he begins to check everyone else's, and most of them are just loud and annoying, Yamanaka included. Kiba Inuzuka also pretty much had a dislike for him. For some reason, though, there was at least a few people were neutral about him, and so far the only people that consider him at least friendly and everything, the only people who thought positive about him were Iruka, Hinata. For some weird reason, he still did not understand it. As when it came to what she thought about him, she thought of him as some sort of, the way she was describing him, he would think that she was talking about a dang Hokage or something, talking about strong, the courageous, brave, all of it. He was saying it was weird. He also had, Choji, who was actually really nice, thinking of Naruto friendly and funny. So yeah, he has more of a respect for Choji. Shikamaru is just neutral with him. So with that, Naruto decides to actually sit down in classroom and begins to actually think, let's see. If I want to I need to get anywhere, I should probably try to get stronger, but how should I do that? At this, Naruto then begins to go through all the memories until he finally actually figure out something. Wait a minute. At this, Naruto then realized, because when he was learning through the guide, when he actually begins to realize about all the other things. Maybe if I raise my intelligence. At this, after figuring this out, suddenly Naruto would then get a notification. Congratulations for figuring out something. Your intelligence and wiseness has gone up by 1. At this, Naruto actually gets a tick mark, considering the fact that sounded like an insult. Congratulations, wise guy. At this, however, the reason why Naruto thinks he should up his intelligence first is because, during the guide, it sort of explained that, the different features of all these things. And his intelligence actually allows him to learn things easier and is able to figure out things much quicker. As for his wiseness, he's able to pretty much come up with strategy and is able to go ahead and figure out things. So he's able to go ahead and think things through even during the moment. So at this, Naruto decides that he will try his best to level up and try his best to go ahead and fix those things. So with that, suddenly Iruka would then walk into the classroom. As when he does, you'll actually be surprised to see Naruto. Naruto, you're here early. Glad to see that you're actually here, he would say, actually surprised. At this, everyone will turn their attention to Naruto, of course. Well, some of them do. Some of them just don't care. However, when they do turn their attention to Naruto, they were actually surprised as Naruto was not cheering or laughing. In fact, Naruto was just there quiet, as he was just looking at Iruka with eyes of sadness. What was going on? At this, Naruto just snaps out of it and says, "Oh, yeah, Iruka." As right now, Naruto would try his best to go ahead and look away, as he was now looking at the window. "Keep it together, Uzumaki. Keep it together. Remember, you went back in time now. You can save him. You can stop Mizuki. You won't let the events happen like they did before. You promised yourself that." At this, after reassuring it, Naruto would then turn back with a look of determination, as Iruka was just confused about the whole thing, but he shrugged it off. "Alright, class, let's begin," he would say. So we go ahead and now do a time skip, as Naruto had actually gone through the whole day of the academy, as he then thinks that this quest had to be the most annoying, yet most entertaining. As Naruto actually began to really appreciate Iruka's lectures now. Who would have thought that he would actually miss that? At this, suddenly a pop-up menu would then appear saying, "Congratulations, you have completed the quest." Flashback. During the classroom, when Iruka was about to start his whole lecture, Naruto actually got a notification, as it was another quest. As this quest was to pay attention in school, and that if he did so, that his reputation with Iruka would actually increase, reputation in classroom would increase, as well as he would gain more money, and his XP would have gone up. And it would have gone up enough to make him a new level. At this, Naruto would have accepted it without any questions asked, and that is because, he is now taking this whole situation, seriously. Come on now. He needs to be better than that. So with that, Naruto went ahead, accepted the quest, got the level, as we go ahead and finish the whole thing, the whole recap. So after that has done, Naruto, now that he was out of the class, he would actually be invited due to Iruka, as he actually tells him to actually come with him to get ramen, considering the fact that Iruka is actually proud of Naruto. As he was surprised that Naruto was actually paying attention in class. Naruto even wrote some notes down on his book, which, yeah, everyone was surprised that the dead last and the person that always plays prank, Naruto, would actually pay attention in class. Some people thought hell was freezing. So after getting some ramen, Iruka tells Naruto that he was actually proud of him, and he actually surprises Naruto by asking him some pop-up questions. At this, Naruto actually goes ahead and gets a quest. If you answer all these pop-up questions right, then not only will your reputation with Iruka goes up, let's see, yada yada yada, more XP, more money. Naruto would just be reading the whole thing, and he's like, "I'm going for it." At this, he goes ahead and accepts it. He then challenges Iruka, telling him to shoot as many pop-up questions of the lesson they learned today at him, and that he will answer them all right. At this, Iruka goes ahead and gives a challenging smirk as he says, "Alright, bet." As he gives Naruto every single one of these pop-up questions. At this, there was some close calls, but Naruto was able to get them all right. At this, Iruka was impressed. "Wow, Naruto, you continue acting like that, you'll for sure become a powerful ninja. I know you'll definitely become Hokage." At this, Naruto will actually smile and then says, "I fully plan on it. I plan on not letting you down either," he would think in his mind. As when Iruka sees Naruto's serious expression, he would actually wonder what's going on with this guy. As Naruto, realizing what time it was, he decides to actually leave, thanking Iruka for the ramen and actually leaving to go get better. Now, Naruto was now just in his room, as he was currently now contemplating about what should he do now. Well, let's see, what else could I do with the system, he would say, as he actually finds out something, until suddenly the system wouldn't actually ask, until suddenly he would then realize that during his guide, he learned about dungeons. He didn't really know what they were, he didn't really know what they were before, but now he does, as he realized there could be dungeons around the areas. So with that, he actually goes ahead and tries to find dungeons nearby, and it did take a while, but eventually he did find it. Alright, let's see. Training ground 11. I can go there, he would think. At this, Naruto will go ahead and get up and instantly walk off to training ground 11, as when he does actually arrive there, he goes ahead and sees a menu go ahead and pop up. You have just discovered a dungeon. Would you like to enter? The system would ask. At this, Naruto, looking at it, once again, he would then remember Mizuki and all the events, as he then says, if it makes me stronger, then I'll accept it without any hesitation. And I'll face it with everything I have. Nothing's gonna stop me. He would say this. At this, his eyes become dull and lifeless as he clicks accept, as with that, Naruto teleports to the dungeon. So we do a time skip to when Naruto was actually now in the dungeon, as inside this dungeon there was multiple amount of monsters. These were undead. There was undead, there was red wolves, there was these wolves that seemed like they could attack, all these different beings and monsters in this dungeon. And to think this was low leveled. At this, Naruto looking and being surrounded by a bunch of these monsters, he can only say one thing. Bring it on. At this, Naruto goes ahead and does familiar hand signs, shouting Shadow Clone Jutsu as he dashes off to take down these beasts. As we go ahead and once again do another time skip to when Naruto is just defeating all these monsters one by one. So it's been a while since Naruto had entered the dungeon now, and he has now defeated a large amount of monsters, gaining XP, and has gotten even stronger than he was. Naruto is currently now level 6, as he actually needs to defeat a little bit more monsters in order to get to level 7. Great, I'm on Shikamaru's level, he would think. Flashback. In the academy, Naruto also checked, while he was learning the lesson, he also checked out everyone else's stats, as he actually found out that Naruto was only stronger than the girls in the class. So that means he was stronger than Sakura and Ino, but he was weaker than nearly all the guys in the class. For example, like Shikamaru, Choji, Shino, who actually was stronger than he let on, which actually surprised Naruto. Shino was definitely one of the strongest people in this classroom. So, after that whole segment of finding out everyone's level, to Naruto's, well, not really surprise, Sasuke was actually level 11, much to the Uzumaki's surprise. I'm not gonna let Sasuke beat me, no way. Flashback end. At this, Naruto also tried to find out Iruka's level, but it was too high for him to figure out, meaning that Iruka was definitely strong. As Naruto continued fighting off these beasts, he would eventually arrive at this ginormous door. So this must be the boss room, he would think. At this, Naruto goes ahead and checks out all the rewards that he got from this mission, or from this dungeon already. One of the things that he got was, well, he got a scroll on a taijutsu, of course. This being a basic taijutsu style, that being one of the academy. As Naruto also got some chakra paper, finding out that his element is wind, so Naruto has a wind affinity, as well as Naruto has gotten a few other things. That being a couple of titles, also his mastery over his shuriken usage actually gone up a level, and pretty much Naruto has gone even powerful. I definitely can't take on the boss room, Naruto would think. I'll come back later. After I come back, then I'll take it on. But for now, you're just gonna have to wait. At this, Naruto goes ahead and walks off, as he goes ahead and actually leaves the dungeon. So we go ahead and change scenes to when Naruto's back at the training ground, as Naruto, deciding to accept the basic academy style, actually begins practicing in the forest, of course, considering the fact that he doesn't want anyone to see him. So he begins his practice. So we do a time skip to the next day, as Naruto had trained nearly the entire night with this basic academy style, as he eventually, after After a while, he had leveled up his mastery over it to a good and solid 6. As Naruto actually finally, his form was better, his attacks were more calculative, and pretty much all of it was actually going pretty well for him. And due to all this happening, Naruto also learned about his attribute points, which allowed him to increase stuff. So with that, Naruto used almost all his attribute points on increasing his intelligence and his wiseness. So that way he can think things clearly, and also he can learn things much quicker. Due to this, it really helped him on mastering and learning the academy style. So after that, Naruto decides it's about time that he goes to the academy, but this is when our blonde protagonist actually stops as he begins to realize something. Maybe he's about to actually go ahead and change what I wear. Now, this might be a total random thought, but the reason why Naruto thinks this is because, well, even though these things help him with pranking and he's now able to, get away without getting caught, it also prevents him from his, growth. Besides, he wants to lurk in the darkness as he waits for Mizuki, like a predator waits for his prey. Until next thing you know, he devours him. At this, Naruto would have a sickening smirk on his face at the thought of just ending Mizuki's life. As Naruto somehow, someway unlocked a skill known as Bloodlust. At this, Naruto was just radiating Bloodlust, as he didn't even know how or why, but he was just radiating it. As until when he sees the menu pop up and everything, he's like, oh, let's see. After reading the whole description, he would then, calm down and thinks, no, I'll show him. Just wait for the time when the time is right. But yeah, Naruto did decide that he should get a change of clothes, because I'm sorry, the clothes that Naruto wear in canon, ugh, no, I never want to see that. So we go ahead and do a time skip to when Naruto's in the academy. As when he arrives there, he just sits down, pretty much ignoring everyone, much to everyone's surprise, considering the fact they have noticed the dead last changing. But they decide he's probably gonna go back to normal. As once again, we go ahead and do another time skip. I'm sorry. But it'll be after class, as Naruto went ahead and finished his daily quest of, paying attention, learning, and pretty much raising up his intelligence. As Naruto decides that he was going to ask Iruka to accompany him shopping so that way he doesn't get kicked out or overpriced, as Naruto knew that this jumpsuit was definitely overpriced. Even if he had a love for orange, this suit, no. There was no way he was going to let this suit be costing that much money. So at this, Naruto actually arrives in front of Iruka and actually asks him if he would accompany him shopping. However, before Iruka could respond, a blonde missile charges at Naruto. As Naruto, his senses begin to activate, considering the fact that Naruto's instincts, his mastery over his instincts have become it has gone even higher. As Naruto was able to detect this, as when he turns around to block an attack, he would then be grabbed by actually the neck of his shirt, as he goes ahead and gets pulled to a extremely happy and weirdly excited Ino Yamanaka. Ino, he would say, as Ino goes ahead and asks, "Is it true what I heard? Are you asking to go shopping?" she would ask. At this, Naruto goes ahead and just sighs. "Yes, but it's only for clothing. Can you put me down now?" However, little did Naruto know that this was the wrong response. If he just said that, he was going to buy ninja equipment or something, then Ino might have not come. But you know what? By saying the word clothing, he had doomed his fate. Bing, bong, boom. That's how I end up here, thought Naruto, as he was now stuck in the shopping district with Ino Yamanaka, Iruka Sensei, and himself. Oh, come on now. Not that I don't appreciate it, but why did you suggest helping me? He would ask. At this, Ino begins to go on a spiel saying, "Sorry, but I do not trust your style of clothing. I mean, did you see the last time you picked out something?" Now, inside Naruto's mind, he was just thinking it's not like I had a choice. But then again, he still had to make, although he loved the orange jumpsuit, it still wasn't, really suitable. But still, it could have been worse. He could have had no clothing, period. So after arriving at the store, Naruto got a bunch of clothes from Ino. She had basically gave him an entire new wardrobe. At this, Naruto thanked Ino, actually asked if she wanted to buy anything and that he would pay for it. However, little did Naruto know that his pockets were literally giving him a warning, be like, bro, don't do it. Literally, his pockets were shaking, bro, like, yo, chill. But it was too late. As the next thing you know, Naruto's pockets were empty. As Naruto felt like he just got mugged. How could a female run up my card like this? Naruto would think. As when he checks his Gamachan, which is like the Toad wallet, it had nothing in it now. It was now drier than Popeye's biscuits, bro. At this, Naruto was just thinking like, I wasted all my money. At this, eventually they would arrive back at Ino's place where Naruto had to drop off all the bags of things that she brought, and she would actually thank Naruto. However, little did Naruto know that due to this day, Ino actually went ahead and now, instead of having a dislike for Naruto, she actually had, she actually thought of him friendly. Although he was loud, annoying, he was friendly. So with that, Naruto's sort of, likability with Ino has skyrocketed, and she now considered him friendly. So after that, Naruto goes ahead and thanks Iruka for accompanying them, which Iruka tells him that it's no problem, that if he ever need anything, he can come to him, which Naruto would not do. So after all of that was done, Naruto returned back home and finally got some rest, as we go ahead and change to the next day. Now in the next day, Naruto would have dressed up in his new clothing, that being black boots, black Anbu pants, and also wearing a dark green vest. A dark green vest with the white shirt underneath it. At this, Naruto goes ahead and sighs as he walks off to the academy, this time once again arriving early to complete his daily quest. As when he arrives there, the same events happen. Once again, people are shocked, and actually multiple people are realizing that Naruto is changing, as Naruto's grades have also been improving, even though it's only been 3 days. At this, Naruto goes ahead and sits there as once again the drama happens where Ino and Sakura fight for Sasuke's attention. As Naruto, during the time, he didn't really focus on his crush on Sakura, unlike where Naruto did in canon, because Naruto, he wasn't really focused on Sakura anymore, and just thought right now the main point is survival. So with that, Naruto not paying attention to anything, we'll go right back to the system with his calculative eyes. He had got a few attribute points, and he wonders what should he put them on. Strength, intelligence, wiseness, endurance, stamina. He really does not need to put in stamina. His stamina was already off the charts. At this, Naruto shrugs and decides to go ahead and put it in... he decides to put it in his strength. He could become a bit more stronger. So after that, Naruto thought the day was going to go as usual, as Ino and Sakura go back to fighting over Sasuke's attention. However, something different happens. As Ino, after losing the fight, actually instead of going back to sit, near someone else like Shikamaru or Choji, to Naruto's surprise, she actually goes ahead and sits next to him. At this, Naruto goes ahead and looks at her, and he then says, you do realize that Shikamaru is all the way over there, right? At this, Ino goes ahead and pouts, saying, yeah, I know, you idiot, but I decided to sit next to you today, as a thank you for going ahead and buying me all those things. At this, Naruto just looks at her and just shrugs, saying, fine, do you, be your own person, I guess, as he goes back to looking at all his stats. Now at this point, Ino was just looking at Naruto now, and she didn't realize something, that over these couple of days, Naruto's not been paying attention to Sakura. So Naruto, what was up with your new transformation and everything? You don't even pull pranks anymore. Is this an attempt to get Sakura? She was asked, of course, using her cheapest, her flirtatious voice and everything. At this, Naruto just, shrugged as although Naruto was not intending on it, he goes ahead and pulls out a toothpick, putting it in his mouth, as he then says, nope. At this, Naruto then puts on a hardened expression. I have no time for that. Especially now that the situation is different. Naruto would say this with the most serious tone, as he was now looking at his attribute points, putting them in strength. As after doing all that, he goes ahead and just lays back on the desk, waiting for class to start. Little did he know that Ino was now looking at him with curiosity and some worriedness, considering the fact she'd never seen Naruto act like this before. So after that, class actually continues on, and to Ino's surprise, Naruto does pretty good. As eventually, after class ends, Naruto does the same thing like he does, return back home, and continue on with his training. So after that, Naruto goes ahead and eventually he trains to a point where he's now level 7, which is now he could say he's the 4th strongest in the class, behind Shino, Kiba, and Sasuke. As Naruto continues on with his training, he decides that maybe it's about time he pays a certain someone a visit. As we do a change of scene, we now see Naruto in front of the gates, the boss room of the dungeon that he was before. I'm talking about the dungeon in floor 11. As Naruto was looking at it, he's like, I'm ready. Naruto doing the familiar hand signs of the Shadow Clone Jutsu, forming a bunch of clones, as he then tells them all to prepare themselves. All of them pulled out a kunai, as Naruto with a small army of himself would open the gates of the dungeons, as right inside there would be a it'll be a ginormous boar, but this time this boar had like 3 heads. Alright, let's take it down. So with that, Naruto, with all the assists from his clones, take down all the entire boar. Although Naruto was having difficulty, considering the fact that this door was it was rampaging all over the entire dungeon area, Naruto, with a lick from his kunai, was able to stab the boar into the eye. He was able to kick the kunai deeper into inside the boar. As with that, the boar was effectively able to be killed off. Finally. And by the way, just letting you guys know, this boar was nearly 13 times bigger than Naruto. As Naruto was now looking at the beating form of the boar, he smiles. Take that, he would say. As Naruto was happy, he didn't take that much damage. He has to admit he's really glad that he learned the taijutsu. Plus, he's also glad that he went ahead and learned a couple more things. As due to all this, Naruto earns titles, as one of the titles being, some of them being the Undead Slayer, the Wolf Hunter, there's a couple other titles. I'm not going to get into full of it, but just mentioning some of them. Another thing that he learned was a scroll for the tree walking exercise, as apparently this is going to help him control his chakra, much to Naruto's like. Naruto also actually surprisingly learned, he got a jutsu, and it's a wind one, that being wind style Gale Palm. At this, Naruto, actually really happy, instantly decides to learn the jutsu, as he goes ahead and appears in his skills section. Sweet, Naruto would say. At this, Naruto also equips on others' titles, such as the Undead Slayer, the Wolf Hunter, as those two things actually allow him to allows him to defeat, undead and wolves much more quicker than he usually does. Plus, it also gives him a higher amount of XP. Not that much, just 5% chance of getting higher XP. So after all that was done, Naruto actually decided to learn the chakra control exercises, considering the fact that the Gale Palm actually takes a pretty good amount of chakra control in order to learn it. So with that, Naruto finally teleports back to Training Ground 11, where he begins the chakra control exercises, and by using his clones to help, which his mastery over the Shadow Clone Jutsu had once again gone up, being a level 4 mastery, he's able to make them more smoothly. So after a couple of attempts, Naruto actually learns it, considering the fact that his intelligence had also gone up. So pretty much Naruto is going smoothly now. Don't worry, Iruka. I still have a month. At this, Naruto would dedicate that this last month, he was going to make sure to stop Mizuki, pass the graduation exams, and save Iruka. And he was going to use it with his power, and his power alone. As unbeknownst to Naruto, deep inside his seal, we see a certain fox looking at all of this with a great deal of interest. Very interesting, he would say. As this will be the end for part 1 of What If Naruto Had a Leveling System. Hope you guys do enjoy this What If. Sorry if you guys hear background noises. I can't really stop that. considering the fact that they're working on something here. I don't really know, but yeah, they're working on something here. Very sorry, but I hope you guys do enjoy. But either way, it's great Sage, and I am out. P.S. I will be posting another Naruto What If, but it will be on the Sage Samurai channel, so letting you guys know on that. But besides that, like I said, I'm out, and peace. Hope y'all have a lovely day.